Listen to me carefully. You're here because you're confused, because someone you love, someone you care about, is ignoring you. And your heart is screaming, why? But let me tell you something that will change your life forever. If he truly loves you, he will ignore you. Not because he doesn't care, not because he wants to hurt you, but because love, real love, is not about chasing. It's not about validation. It's not about desperate need. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing your worth. It's about understanding that the strongest relationships are not built on obsession or attachment, but on two people who stand strong on their own. So when he ignores you, don't crumble, don't beg, don't chase. Instead, rise, find yourself, love yourself first. Because the one who is truly meant for you will never require you to lose yourself just to keep them. Understand this. The moment you chase someone who is ignoring you, you lose power. You tell them, I am willing to settle for less. You tell them, I need your attention to feel whole. And that, my friend, is not love. That is fear. But if you choose to stand tall, if you choose to be unshaken, you send a different message. You say, I am complete on my own. I am valuable with or without you. And that is what real love is built on. He ignores you because he is testing your strength. Because deep down, he wants to see if you will break, if you will lower yourself just to get his attention. But if he truly loves you, he will return when he sees that you don't need him to define your worth. The most powerful people in this world do not chase. They attract. They become the kind of person who naturally draws love, respect, and admiration without ever having to beg for it. You are powerful. You are worthy. You do not need to prove your value to someone who does not see it. If he is ignoring you, let him. Walk away with grace, with dignity, with self-respect. And if he truly loves you, he will come back. But if he doesn't, then you were never meant to be someone's second choice. Rise, be strong, love yourself first. Because that is the most powerful love of all. Let's go even deeper. Because I know that right now your heart is aching. You are replaying every conversation, every moment, every word, trying to figure out where things went wrong. You're wondering if you should reach out, if you should fight for his attention, if you should prove that you're worth loving. Love is not about proving your worth. It is about knowing your worth. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel invisible. He will never make you feel like an option. He will never make you question your value. You may think that his silence means he doesn't care, but sometimes silence is a test. It is a challenge. It is the universe's way of asking you, will you forget your worth just because someone isn't paying attention to you? Your answer must be no. Do not text him. Do not call him. Do not beg for his time. Instead, shift your energy. Focus on you. Work on your dreams. Build your empire. Love yourself so fiercely that his absence no longer feels like a loss, but a gift. Because here's the truth. The right person will never leave you guessing. The right person will never make you doubt your place in their life. And if someone is ignoring you, then maybe, just maybe, they were never meant to stay. You are a queen. You are a force of nature. And queens do not beg for attention. They command it without even trying. So let him ignore you. Let him wonder. Let him see what it feels like to lose someone as incredible as you. Because one day he will realize what he walked away from. And by then, you'll be too busy living your best life to even notice. You think love is about attention, about validation, about someone proving every second that they care. You think if he loves you, he will chase you, text you back immediately, show up at your door with flowers, never let a day go by without reminding you that you are the center of his world. But let me tell you something, if he truly loves you, sometimes he will ignore you. Not because he doesn't care, not because you are unimportant, but because he is busy becoming the man he needs to be, for himself and for you. A man with purpose, a man with ambition, a man who is building something bigger than just a relationship. A man who refuses to lose himself just to keep you entertained. You see, love is not about dependency. Love is about growth. If he ignores you, it's not because he is playing games. It's because he refuses to be a distraction in his own life. He refuses to waste his time proving his love with empty gestures when he could be proving it by becoming the man you deserve. He is focused, he is working, he is grinding. He knows that true love isn't about texting back in 2 minutes. It's about showing up when it really matters. It's about building a future, not just making the present feel good. You are mistaking love for obsession. You are mistaking attention for devotion. You believe that if he isn't always there, always calling, always texting, then he must not love you. But that is not love. Love is not an addiction. Love is not possession. Love is not about filling every empty space in your life. If he truly loves you, he will ignore you, not out of cruelty, not out of neglect, but out of respect. Respect for himself, respect for his dreams, respect for the life he is trying to build. A weak man will make you the center of his world and have nothing else to offer. A strong man will build a world so powerful that when he invites you in, you will never want to leave. This is what you must understand. A man with a vision will not be available at your every whim. He will not drop everything just to prove his love. Because his love is not proven in words. It is proven in actions. Actions like discipline, like focus, like sacrifice. And if he ignores you, if he pulls away, if he is not always there, it may be because he is working on himself. And a man who is working on himself is a man worth waiting for, because when he comes back, he will not come back as the same person. He will come back stronger, wiser, more powerful, more capable of giving you the love you truly deserve. And let me tell you this, if you are a woman of strength, you will understand this. You will not need his constant presence. You will not need his constant attention, because you too will be busy. Busy building your own dreams. Busy becoming your own greatest version. Busy creating a life so full, so rich, so complete, that when the right man stands beside you, he does not complete you, he complements you. Because you are already whole. So stop chasing, stop begging, stop seeking validation from a man who is focused on something greater, and instead focus on yourself. Because when you do, when you grow, when you elevate, when you build, something incredible happens. You stop needing love and you start attracting it. And the man who once ignored you because he was building himself will come back, and you will see that the wait was worth it, because he will not just be a man in love, he will be a man who is ready. Ready to lead, ready to support, ready to love you in the way you deserve. So let him ignore you. Let him work, let him grow, let him build. And in the meantime, do the same, because the best love stories are not written by those who seek validation. They are written by those who seek purpose. The world has told you that love is about constant attention, that if a man truly loves you, he will always be there, always answering, always chasing. But that is not love. That is insecurity. That is desperation. That is weakness. A man who is always available is a man who has nothing greater to offer. A man who truly loves you will ignore you, not because he does not care, but because he is becoming the man he needs to be, becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming the kind of man who will not only love you, but lead you, provide for you, and build a future worth sharing. You do not need a man who is constantly checking in. You need a man who is checking himself, a man who is disciplined, a man who is focused, a man who is grinding every single day to become the best version of himself. Because a man who is always available to you is a man who is not available to his own purpose. And a man without purpose is a man who will eventually become a burden to you. You must understand this. You must shift your mindset. You must stop craving attention and start craving ambition. Because the kind of man you truly deserve is not the man who texts you back in 5 minutes. It is the man who works for 5 years to build a life you will never want to leave. If he ignores you, let him. If he pulls away, do not chase. Instead, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. A weak man will cling to you because he has nothing else. A strong man will give you space because he is busy building something real. A real man does not love you with words. He loves you with his actions. He shows you love by building his character, his discipline, his vision. He shows you love by choosing long-term success over short-term pleasure. Because love is not about convenience, it is about commitment. And commitment is proven in actions, not empty words. So what will you choose? Will you choose a love that is needy and fragile, or a love that is powerful and unstoppable? Will you settle for a man who gives you attention today, but has no direction for tomorrow? Or will you wait for the man who ignores you now because he is focused on building a future for both of you? You must decide. Because the strongest love is not found in constant texts, late-night calls, or momentary validation. It is found in growth, in ambition, in purpose. They told you love means constant attention. They told you if he loves you, he will always be there, always answering, always chasing you like a lost puppy. But that is not love. That is dependency. That is weakness. That is insecurity disguised as devotion. A man who truly loves you will not always be available. He will not always answer your texts right away. He will not always be at your beck and call. Not because he does not care, but because he is busy becoming the kind of man who is worthy of loving you. A man who chases constantly is a man who has nothing greater to pursue. A man who is always available is a man who has no purpose. And a man with no purpose will never be able to lead, protect, or provide the way a real man should. So, if he ignores you, do not take it as rejection. Take it as a sign that he is working. Working on himself, working on his dreams, working on his future. A future that may include you, but only if you are strong enough to understand what real love looks like. Because real love is not about constant reassurance. It is about trust. It is about patience. It is about allowing space for growth. Do you want a man who texts you all day, every day, but has no ambition? Do you want a man who makes you feel good in the moment, but has no vision for the future? Or do you want a man who is building something real, something strong, something lasting? Because the truth is, if he truly loves you, he will ignore you at times. Not to hurt you, not to play games, but because he refuses to lose himself just to keep you entertained. Because a man who sacrifices his dreams for constant validation will one day resent you for it. He will feel empty. He will feel lost. And eventually, that love you crave will turn to bitterness. But a man who stays focused, who stays on his path, who ignores distractions, who chooses discipline over convenience, that is the kind of man who will build a future worth sharing. So if he loves you, he will ignore you. And if you are wise, you will do the same. You will not sit around waiting. You will not beg for attention. You will not chase a man who is on his purpose. Instead, you will focus on yourself. You will grow. You will evolve. You will build your own dreams, your own empire, your own power. Because when two strong, independent, and driven people come together, that is when magic happens. That is when love is unstoppable. That is when two souls collide, not out of need, but out of choice. So stop looking for love in constant attention. Look for love in purpose. Look for love in action. Look for love in a man who is strong enough to ignore you today so he can love you better tomorrow. And when the time comes, when he has built his life, when you have built yours, that love will not just be exciting, it will be unshakable, it will be powerful, it will be forever. So let him ignore you. You are searching for love in the wrong places. You think love means constant attention. You think love is about him proving himself every second of every day. But love is not desperate. Love is not needy. Love is not about clinging to someone just to feel secure. A man who truly loves you will not always be there in the way you expect. He will not always reply immediately. He will not always be at your feet, waiting for your command. Not because he doesn't care, but because he is focused on becoming the man you truly deserve. A man who is serious about his life is not spending all his time texting. He is not spending all his energy proving his love with empty words. He is busy becoming something greater. He is grinding. He is working. He is chasing his dreams, not chasing your attention. Because a man with no purpose is a man who will eventually become a burden to you. And you don't want that. You don't want a man who drops everything just to satisfy your need for validation. You don't want a man who prioritizes comfort over ambition. You want a man who is building himself into someone unstoppable. And that means he will ignore you, not to hurt you, not to push you away. But because he understands that love is not about losing himself to keep you happy. Love is about becoming better, so he can offer you something real. A weak man will be available 24/7. A weak man will put his entire existence on hold just to keep you entertained. But a strong man will focus. A strong man will put in the work. A strong man will choose discipline over distraction. Because he knows that if he wants to build a future with you, he has to be a man worthy of leading it. So let him ignore you. Let him grow. Let him step into his power without demanding that he prove himself every second. Because when he returns, he will return as a man who is ready to love, ready to commit, ready to stand beside you as an equal, not as someone who needs your attention to survive. And you must do the same. You must stop waiting. You must stop seeking.